In the vents?
Hi, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
Wayne from Disney Movie Services. But what do you think kids are going to like most about this train tour, and what are they going to learn from it?
They're going to learn basically not to touch anything. No, actually, they get to touch everything on this train. I don't know what they're going to learn. They're going to have a good time, though. I think they're going to enjoy it. They're going to enjoy the interactiveness of it, you know, putting themselves in the movie. That was the most fun for me, was seeing the transformation, seeing, you know, this process come to life, and they get a little glimpse at that there. So it's kind of Hollywood on wheels going out to the world. I like the idea of, you know, a floating museum. So it's cool. And, you know, bottom line, you got to have something to do.
It'll keep them occupied.
When you're a kid, keeps you off the streets.
And it's free.
That's right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. Good to see you.
Right?
Jim, we saw a few scenes from the film with you as old Scrooge, and it looks like you really kept some of the darkness of how bitter Scrooge gets. So can you talk about going there all the way, showing how miserable Scrooge is in the movie?
All I have to do is drop the act. No, honestly, one of the things I really wanted to capture with the character is the bitterness, is the effect of a life without love. And it forms you. It forms your face. It forms your body. And I always figured, you know, back then, you know, healthcare probably wasn't the best. You know, so he was probably suffering from some, you know, inflammatory diseases of some sort, like arthritis and things like that. So I kind of, you know, felt the effects of that in my body. I figured Scrooge had to have been living with a chronic case of acid reflux, you know, so that the bitterness could be even tasted in his mouth. I mean, he just couldn't get around it. He was just full of vile feelings. And I think, you know, the bottom line of the character is he's screaming for help. And that's what's true of everybody in that position, is they just don't know how to love because they never felt love, you know? So it's a beautiful character to be able to play. Yes?
In the second row?
Oh, sorry, I'm not picking.
Go ahead.
It's quite obvious to me that Scrooge is not what we would call a good person, and he did a lot of things that he didn't deserve to have a get in for. What does the idea of redemption for the Scrooge character mean to you? Well,
for me, you know, I don't believe in bad people. I believe that people, you know, somewhere inside have the potential to realize themselves, and really that's what this story is about. It's not as much about transformation as it is about uncovering the soul that was always there, you know. So I think that's what's beautiful about it. It's his own psyche coming back in the form of these ghosts and spirits to remind him of who he is, what life really is about.
Thank you.
Sir?
I recently spoke with both Gary Oldman and with John Malkovich about the process of working on these films with you, Mr. Zemeckis, and they both described it as some of the best pure acting experiences they've had. Did you feel the same way, Jim? And can you talk about what it changes in your relationship as a director with the performers from working in a live-action picture?
Oh, is that for me?
For both of you.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing that's great about working in this process with my cast is it's just about you know, us doing the acting. That's what's great. I don't do the acting; they do the acting. But I mean, it's like that's all we concentrate on. And what's great about it is we don't have to do things out of continuity. We don't have to break things up for coverage. The cast, they do the scene from beginning to end, just like they're doing theater. So the pacing and you know, the flow of the scene is all up to them, and it's really great. And I don't have to worry about any of the cinema technique. I can just concentrate on what the characters are doing. So it's a beautiful process.
Yeah, I found it personally. There are advantages. There are parts of the process that are production-wise much easier as far as, you know, is moving things around and getting a lot of work done. For an actor, there are other challenges to it, though. I mean, a lot of people think of this work as like they'll look at these movies and they'll think, well, you did a voiceover. And it absolutely, in every way, and even in more ways than a regular film, are complete performances by actors. You have no reference point around you. You're on a mocap stage, and there are grids and there are outlines of furniture and things like that. But you pretty much have to create the mood in your head, which is a little bit more difficult than doing a regular film where you're helped by the scenery, you're helped by the costumes. Gary Oldman and I were together, doing scenes face to face and going, it's like acting